Today we are diving into a powerful full moon in Taurus happening on November 15th at 24 degrees. Hello everyone! I said in past videos that November is jam-packed with massive astrological activities and activations, and this full moon, even though full moons occur every month, is a big player in that too, because it's not just a normal full moon. This full moon isn't your typical quote-unquote ending. It's layered with transformative aspects, numerology, degree significance, and karmic shifts that really make it a game changer, both collectively and personally. And today we are going to be talking about both, including an all signs forecast. So if you're new here, check out the description box below and you'll find timestamps for your sign. I highly recommend prioritizing listening to your ascendant or your rising sign first, and then listening to your sun and moon to get a whole picture. And if you're not sure what your ascendant or rising sign is, you can calculate it online. Just type in ascendant rising sign calculators, or you can check out a free natal chart calculator online. And if you're wanting and interested, you can also book an astrology reading with me. Without further ado, let's jump into this. So let's start by breaking down some of the big energies in play. So this full moon in Taurus is actually conjuncting Uranus. Uranus is the planet of people like to say chaos, and okay, in a sense there is that, but it's also the planet that brings sudden big changes. So this full moon brings a shake-up in areas related to stability, material security, and our sense of comfort for the collective and also personally. I'm talking about overall full moon energy here at the beginning and collective energy, and then later on when you listen to your all signs forecast, you can apply it on the lower level. And of course, how this full moon will directly impact your chart depends on what parts of your chart it's activating, either directly in terms of houses or conjunctions, but also in terms of aspects, rulerships for the sign, etc. Again, if you need help breaking it down outside of this free reading, you're welcome to book a session with me. Okay, so in terms of overall energy and collective energy, with Uranus conjuncting the moon, this can be summed up with expecting the unexpected. Here, there's a need to break free from old routines or comfort zones. Changes may feel sudden, but are likely pushing all of us towards greater authenticity and liberation, especially around resources, finances, personal values. Another big energy at play happening at this time is the T-square with Jupiter, Mercury, and Saturn. This formation adds intensity and a call for balance. And actually, I've been getting DMs both on Instagram and also just private messaging offline, people asking about how, about this T-square. So Jupiter in Gemini is amplifying communication, making truth-seeking a collective focus. Also very relevant with what you see a lot happening globally, and also in the big players in the globe that really impact kind of the rest of it. Now, at the same time, Mercury in Scorpio is digging into deeper psychological layers, exposing what's hidden. Saturn in Pisces, which we mentioned, also is going direct on the exact same day of this full moon and ending retrograde, demands accountability and spiritual responsibility. I'm going to keep talking about kind of Saturn and Pisces in terms of this full moon in this video, but I have a whole video that goes in depth on Saturn and Pisces going direct, and it's also an all signs breakdown that you can listen to. I will link that in the comments below, but that was just posted yesterday, I think. Okay, so together with this T-square, these planets create a tension that may highlight conflicts between what we know, what we feel, and what we're willing to commit to. At the same time, we have Pluto at 29 degrees, the critical degree in Capricorn. And on November 19th, Pluto is completely changing and going back into Aquarius, where it had entered earlier this year before going retrograde and going back into Capricorn. This is a big deal because Pluto is a planet that spends around 20 years in each sign. And it's, Pluto is Hades. It's the planet of transformation. So it's sitting at a critical degree, intensifies this full moon's impact even more. This degree represents the final purge before Pluto finally enters Aquarius on the 19th, where it will stay for the next 20 years. collectively, we're experiencing a powerful turning point where outdated structures are completely being dismantled. Again, very relevant to kind of what you're seeing on a global scale. This could show up as shifts in power, government restructuring, or transformations in societal roles and the collective overall, making way for new consciousness and new approaches. At the same time, the ruler of Taurus, thus the ruler of this full moon, Venus, has just recently entered Capricorn and is at the beginning of Capricorn. So Venus, Taurus's ruler, in early Capricorn adds a grounded, serious tone when it comes to things like love, finance, and values. So this isn't about quick fixes or superficial solutions or just, grabbing someone or something or a solution to quickly make way. It's about taking responsibility and laying down solid foundations and laying down solid seeds. Venus in Capricorn is calling for practical decisions, urging us to align our actions with what's meaningful and lasting. As I mentioned as well, Saturn is going direct in Pisces as well on this day, which is adding really more potency to this mix. This brings forward momentum to long-standing issues that may have felt stalled or confusing. Having this happen the same day as the full moon really is a shift, and it signals a return to structure and accountability, particularly in areas tied to our beliefs, our dreams, our inner healings, also all those Piscean themes. If we faced karmic lessons, this full moon may help us see the payoff, bringing a new chapter of clarity. Why? Because Saturn is a planet that rules karma as well, and full moons tend to be endings of cycles. So this could be bringing karma forward, either good or bad, within your life or within people or within things that kind of included you around your life. Full moons are kind of a cyclical closing. And when we really think of, well, what is the cycle we might be closing? Think back of the seeds that were planted when we had the sister new moon in Taurus that happened back in May. So think back of kind of like end of April, beginning of May, mid-May time frame. And think of thematic themes that may have started or been very present or a focal point in your life back then. And you may feel that a culmination is coming with this full moon happening at this time in Taurus in November. So in terms of the in terms of, oh my gosh, so many tongue twisters today. I think I need to have more green tea. Okay, in terms of the numerology and the astrological degree of the significance, the full moon is happening at 24 degrees. The 24th degree is actually associated with a lot of Venusian energy, so Venus-like energy and harmony, which emphasizes relationships, values, and collective balance. And Taurus, the sign of the full moon, like I said earlier, is also ruled by Venus. So this is further amplifying the Venusian essence, the love essence, the harmonic essence, and the essence on relationships, values, beauty of this full moon. In numerology, the number 6, which is what we get when we add 2 and 4, relates to nurturing, service, and healing, and giving back. So together, these energies make it a prime time for healing divisions, which I know right now, on all sides, almost everywhere on the planet, but including where I am right now. Division is something that we're seeing a lot, and division is something the media and the powers that be are really encouraging us a lot. But these energies are making it a prime time for healing that and for focusing on what truly matters and grounding into practical steps. So overall energy with Taurus, earthy energy combining with Scorpio's intensely passionate and just deep, watery energy, very different than Taurus, even though they are sister signs and sit on an opposing axis. We're called to integrate our inner resources in our outer realities. This is truly a powerful axis of transformation, moving from the material into the spiritual. The Taurus-Scorpio axis is also an axis that can rule natural disasters, including earthquakes, and storms and hurricanes and volcanoes and things like that. not to scare anyone, just in general. Like, for example, when we had the North and South node here, there was a lot on the Taurus Scorpio axis. There was a lot tectonic plate movements and other natural disasters, but that was when the nodes were there for, around a year and a half, 2 years. So this is different. This is just a full moon in Scorpio, which happens all the time, but this is a highly energized, more kind of potent full moon because of the other energetical mix. So just something to be aware of. The Taurus Scorpio axis also asks us to bridge comfort and challenge. Taurus likes comfort and likes practicality and staying in the safety zone, and planning first. And then Scorpio is all about diving into your deepest, darkest pit and then coming out and alchemizing. So it's really about bridging the known and the unknown, bridging stability and growth, bridging the gap between those two. What I kind of see happening, collectively, we may witness significant developments in financial systems, material resources, and power dynamics. We can either see endings here or new seeds being planted, hinting at what might come, or sudden kind of shifts. With Uranus in the mix, that actually amplifies the sudden shift aspect. We can definitely expect surprises, maybe sudden shifts in the economic landscapes, sudden changes in governance, or breakthroughs in technology that disrupt the status quo. Uranus, as I said, can also be rebellious, can also be chaos. So that's amplifying Mars in Leo right now, and it's really amplifying this energy of chaos and of confrontation and of agitation between two different sides. So I know with a lot of people on their mind right now is kind of this post-election landscape. The timing of this full moon right after the election suggests that societal changes could accelerate. This is purely an objective astrological view. I'm not adding my opinion on either side, just talking about what I see in the astrology. And this, with Pluto's critical degree, that's even Pluto here at critical degree, about to shift into Aquarius, the humanitarian, the idealist. This acts as even more of a catalyst. So watch for revelations, watch for policy shifts, watch for power moves that may arise unexpectedly in the days or weeks following. Watch for, again, more confrontations, more attempt of separating, of creating kind of two different realities that are feuding against each other and that are actually drifting further away from real grounded practical reality. And Taurus wants to ground us again, despite all this other energy in the background that is causing the opposite. This full moon overall offers a chance to embrace transformation on a deep level. So grounding ourselves in what's real and stable as we prepare for Pluto's entry in Aquarius. Let's make the most of this powerful and transformative energy. And one way to help you do that is by listening to your individual signs below, to get a deeper understanding of how this might impact you. And just want to say again, it will be more accurate if you have a personal reading, because everyone's chart is completely different. I want to say too, before we jump into the all signs, and I'll say this again at the end, that because this channel is new, I'm launching a free reading giveaway for a 60-minute astrological reading. To enter, all you have to do is subscribe and comment to let me know you subscribed. And then any additional comments actually counts as an additional entry, so your name will be entered more than twice. And I will pull 2 winners once I hit 30 subscribers. So go ahead if you want a free reading and have me dive into this much detail into your own birth chart and tell you what's coming and what's happening and what are the big themes and challenges and lessons of your life path and what your soul contracted to go through. Then subscribe and comment. Even if you've already done that, but you are enjoying listening to these videos, especially since this channel is new, I am so grateful and thankful for any like, comment, share, subscription, and view. So thank you so much. Okay, without further ado, we're going to be starting with Aries. Hello Aries, suns, moons, and risings. This full moon in Taurus is illuminating your second house of finances, self-worth, material stability, real estate, stocks, and investment. But this isn't just a straightforward money or values check-in, or, as other astrologers will say, boom, there's an ending coming here. there are deep layers of transformation at play with all the other aspects happening with this full moon. To get a real deep dive into why this full moon is potent and the play-by-play, highly recommend you listen to the intro. But overall, what to expect? With this moon conjuncting Uranus and Taurus, unexpected shifts or sudden awakenings around finances or personal values are likely. You may encounter surprising changes, maybe an investment opportunity, a sudden big expense you were not expecting, a new money just suddenly boom flowing in that you didn't see coming, or even a new perspective on what truly matters to you. Uranus here is shaking up your approach to security, urging you to break away from outdated comfort zones that no longer serve you. This can bring sudden shifts, sudden new beginnings, sudden endings when it comes to your investments, your stocks, your real estate, your finances. We also have a T-square happening at the same time, which is impacting this. The T-square is with Jupiter, Mercury, and Saturn, which is bringing intensity to your beliefs and your communication. Jupiter in Gemini is expanding your ideas and amplifying the information flow, which could lead to powerful insights or realizations about your finances and sense of stability. Meanwhile, Saturn's direct motion, and I have a full video on that, go watch that because I go deeper. But to just say briefly, at the same day of the full moon, Saturn is suddenly going direct again in your 12th house, which is then, because it's happening the same day of your full moon, it's impacting what's coming on your full moon as well. This pushes you to clear out hidden blocks or karmic debts. Mercury in Scorpio at the same time is also digging deep, inviting you to explore any subconscious fears or unresolved emotional attachments that may be impacting your financial life. At the same time, we have Pluto at 29 degrees of Capricorn, the final degree, the critical degree before it shifts into Aquarius. This is gigantic, it's momentous, but it's also something that will last 20 years, so it's a slow-moving energy. But Pluto is a transformative energy, and 29 degrees of Capricorn is happening in your 10th house. Because this is the month on November 19th that we shift from Capricorn to Aquarius and from Pluto to Capricorn to Pluto and Aquarius. This you may feel and see shifts in this month as well. This suggests a powerful moment of transformation around your career, public image, reputation. This degree is about finality and evolution. So you might be feeling an urge to make a lasting impact in your professional life, especially if you've felt held back or constrained. Something really big could be brewing here. So watch for opportunities to step into your power or make a bold move in your career. We also have the ruler of Taurus, the ruler of this full moon in Capricorn. So Venus, the ruler of this full moon, is in your 10th house as well, the house that is seeing this big Pluto shift. So there's an emphasis on creating stability and structure in your career or your public life. Venus in Capricorn is asking you to take a practical, disciplined approach to love, to finances, and to your reputation. This is a prime time to set long-term goals and to align your actions with your values in a way that reflects well on your public image. And it's really about building foundations that will support you for years to come. With this being the ruler of the full moon, which is happening in your 2nd house, there is hinting here that, your career, your changes in your career, and even perhaps changes in love could be playing a part in the sudden changes that are happening with money, finances, investments, real estate, and things like that. And that Saturn going direct in Pisces, which I talked about earlier in your 12th house, that's really also adding a layer of karmic release and inner restructuring. If you've been dealing with unresolved issues or feeling weighed down by past mistakes or weighed down by your mental health, this shift provides an opportunity to clear those blocks. Saturn is now ready to help solidify new, healthier boundaries in your inner world, allowing you to move forward with greater clarity. And if a lot of that has been affecting your finances, or vice versa, if your finances and assets have been affecting your mental health, this is hinting at some kind of a change and a breakthrough here. So we talked about possible different scenarios, but to list a bit more, you may experience a sudden financial change, like a new job opportunity or a surprise expense that prompts you to rethink your financial strategy. Or you could have significant professional or public recognition that suddenly comes your way, bringing a sense of stability or accomplishment in your career. Or you might be having a sudden ending in terms of your career, or if you had money due or debt due, or you're changing jobs. Or you might feel a need to release old fears or hidden self-doubts that have been holding you back, especially around money or self-worth. So bringing it all together, this full moon in your second house, with all its transformative aspects, with what's happening with its rulership, is inviting you to ground your sense of self-worth in who you truly are, rather than external validation or material possessions. So embrace the new structures forming within your inner world, and be open to the surprising shifts that Uranus is going to bring when it comes to your self-worth, your real estate, your assets, your net worth, and money. You know, in spirituality, net worth and self-worth are joined. How you view yourself, how much you love yourself, is directly connected to also how much money flows in and how much money you make. So this is your moment to redefine stability in a way that is authentic to you, Aries. This is a powerful new moon, and it's happening in Scorpio season. Scorpio is ruled by Mars. Mars is your ruler, and that's just amplifying a lot of this energy even more. Okay, moving on. To Taurus. Hello, Taurus. Taurus, suns, moons, and risings. This full moon is lighting up your first house, your house of, I like to say, the I am house, your house of self-identity, personal power, outward expression, even your appearance, your body, how you deal with the world, how the world views you. If you haven't listened to the intro, I highly recommend it, because I go very deep into why this full moon is so potent, the collective energy, my predictions for the collective based on analysis astrologically, and how you can apply that to your own sign. Okay. I want to say too that this full moon isn't just a typical moment of self-reflection or of endings, as people, just say. Full moons happen every month, and a Taurus full moon happens almost every year. But this full moon, it's been a while since I've seen a full moon so kind of profoundly aspected, with transformative aspects and planets, or happening at the same time as other massive shifts in slower moving planets, which impact kind of us individually on a deeper level, but impact the collective immensely. And as above, so below, as within, so without. So if something is impacting the collective intensively, it's impacting us individually as well. So, okay, aka expect a very transformative, potentially life-shifting experience, especially Taurus. This is happening in your sign. It's in your first house. It's, for you, this is even a bigger deal. What to expect? This full moon is in your sign, and it's conjuncting Uranus. So this is bringing a surge of independence, individuality, and possibly unexpected events that are pushing you to embrace who you truly are, or unexpected events that are going to trigger big changes to your body, to your appearance, to your sense of self. You might find yourself feeling a sudden desire to break free from the roles you've outgrown, allowing your most authentic self to emerge. Uranus, the planet of freedom, is helping you shed any restrictive labels or expectations that don't align with the real you. Because remember, full moons are also about culminations. They're also about endings. We also have the T-square impacting it around this time. So with Jupiter in your second house, Mercury and Scorpio in your 7th, and Saturn and Pisces in your 11th, this T-square for you is amplifying your values, your partnerships and relationships, and community connections, and how the three of those flow together. Jupiter's expansion in your house of money and values could push you to redefine what truly matters, possibly reevaluating your priorities in relationships and friendships. Meanwhile, Saturn's direct motion in your house of friendships and social networks invites you to create healthier boundaries with those around you, setting the stage for meaningful connections that support your growth. We also have Pluto at 29 degrees of Capricorn, the critical degree, shifting finally then on November 19th to Aquarius. So when Pluto is in its critical degree, this is a big deal, especially happening at the end of Capricorn. This is located in your 9th house of beliefs, philosophy, travel, higher learning, and higher academics. This signals a pivotal time to let go of outdated belief systems, let go of maybe religious or spiritual beliefs that held you back, that weren't actually aligned with what you really believe in, with what you're really practicing. Let go of negative mindset and life philosophies. You may have felt a strong urge to explore new philosophies or to commit to a transformative journey, whether that's through education, travel, or spiritual pursuits. The energy of this degree invites you to dive deep and release any limitations within your worldview. We also have Venus in Capricorn. Venus is the ruler of Taurus, so thus the ruler of this full moon. So to really understand the impact of this full moon, we have to look at Venus. And Venus is also Taurus. It's your ruling planet. So mega big for you as well. Venus just recently entered Capricorn. So it's at the beginning of Capricorn, which is also your 9th house, where Pluto is at the critical degree. So you're encouraged to approach these shifts with a grounded sense of purpose. Venus here is bringing a very serious tone to your values, especially in matters of personal growth, in belief system, in spirituality, in religion, in philosophy. This influence is suggesting that your next steps should be taken thoughtfully, with a long-term perspective that supports your inner growth and your outer growth. We also, as I mentioned briefly earlier, have Saturn going direct in Pisces the same day as this full moon after it went retrograde June 29th. I have a whole big video going in specifically just focusing on this for your sign. I recommend listening to it. It was the last video posted, but I'll also link it in the description box below. But to understand very briefly of how this is tying with the full moon specifically, Saturn shifts forward in your 11th house, which is bringing momentum to social circles and long-term goals. So you may find that your friendships and alliances are requiring more responsibility or more boundaries to stay aligned with your evolving self, with your evolving sense of who you are. I am, first house. Saturn's direct motion is offering stability, which is helping you discern which connections are not worth keeping as you move forward. So you might be having endings here in terms of relationships, and these endings are coming because of the realizations you've been having in terms of who you are and what in your life is not in alignment with that. So other predictions of, things that might be happening that I haven't listed yet. You might experience a sudden shift in your self-image, in your beauty, in how you dress yourself, how you carry yourself, in your diet, things like that. You might be deciding to change your appearance or embracing a new, more authentic way of presenting yourself to the world. Having your first house in Taurus. Taurus ruled by Venus. Venus is the sign of beauty as well. So, this is kind of a signaling of ends and beginnings of how your beauty is represented. And you may be finding it easier to have that represented in a more authentic way where you could be feeling more radiant. This is also a time maybe you could be having a chance encounter with someone new, a new connection or a new friendship that could inspire you to pursue new beliefs, spirituality, spiritual habits, or new learning experiences, or even new travel plans that resonate with your true self. You could be making plans here, or you could be getting signals to go travel somewhere that is going to trigger a big spiritual breakthrough or a big change in terms of your sense of self. You also might be having financial clarity arising with a possible new income opportunity or a financial shift that helps you ground your sense of self-worth. Bringing this all together, Taurus, this full moon in your first house with all of its transformative aspects is truly a profound time for you to step into your authenticity and to claim your power. This may mean having to let go of what doesn't align with who you're becoming. This could be friendships. This could be belief systems. This could be bills or things you've been investing money in. And embracing unexpected opportunities that honor your true embodiment and honor your truth. Venus, the ruler of your sign, the ruler of this full moon in Capricorn, is supporting you in building something solid and meaningful. Just remember that every shift is bringing you closer to your true self, especially the shifts coming with this full moon. Okay, next, moving on to Gemini. Gemini, suns, moons, and risings. Hello and welcome. This full moon is illuminating your 12th house, which governs your subconscious, hidden truths, secrets, spiritual healing, the connection with the divine, your higher power, your mental health. Did I miss any? If I did, it'll come up eventually, don't worry. Okay, so if you missed the intro, I highly recommend listening to it because I go very deep into why this is not just a normal full moon in Taurus, and why this is a profound one, and why it will be extra transformative. And I also go into predictions for the collective. Moving on back to your reading specifically, with Taurus energy anchoring this lunar moment, you're really encouraged to ground yourself in inner peace and stability, even as you navigate this profound transformation and this kind of very intense energy happening now. What to expect? Well, with this full moon conjuncting Uranus and Taurus, there's a big invitation to break free from hidden fears, self-doubts, or unresolved patterns in your subconscious. Uranus may bring sudden revelations, sudden flashes of insights, sudden breakthrough moments, sudden maybe breakdowns that lead to breakthroughs, sudden maybe dark nights of the soul that perhaps unveil a part of yourself that's been buried or neglected. This full moon isn't just about endings, but it's also about releasing what's holding you back so you can move forward with more freedom and more self-acceptance. The T-square happening at the same time also has an impact. And this T-square is involving Jupiter in your first house, Mercury and Scorpio in your sixth, and Saturn in Pisces in your 10th. Now, this adds a layer of complexity, amplifying themes around self-awareness, daily routines, and career responsibilities, and linking them kind of all together. Jupiter's expansive energy in your first house could make you feel especially driven to understand and assert your own identity. Meanwhile, we have Mercury in Scorpio, which is digging deep into your daily habits and health, encouraging you to assess where your kind of dark spots are here and where your routines and your, where your routines kind of drain you or support you. Saturn, I'm going to talk more about Saturn a bit later, but it's going direct again after being retrograde in your career house, which is emphasizing the need for you to balance ambition with personal wellness and kind of reinforce those healthy boundaries. We also have Pluto at the critical degree of Capricorn here, 29 degrees before it goes into Aquarius on the 19th of November, 4 days after this full moon. That's a big deal. And for you, it's happening at the end of your 8th house, which is very Plutonian energy. This is signaling a final transformation for you around shared resources, aka whether it's with a partner or business partner or relationship, marriage, or parents even. Also, final transformation around deep commitments. 8th house is like the merging of souls, that kind of level of commitment and intimacy and love, or psychological patterns. 8th house also rules debt. 8th house also rules trauma, hidden trauma, and 8th house also rules intimacy and sex. Okay, so there may be a pull to release or restructure any financial ties, debts, or power dynamics that have weighed you down. This energy is intense. So it's asking you to clear away what no longer serves you on a deep, intimate level. You could be having a lot of those things that you've hidden away that are tied to those subjects and topics coming up right now. We also have the ruler of this full moon, Venus, the ruler of Taurus, just recently entered Capricorn at the beginning of the month. Venus, for you, is actually in Capricorn, so it's passing through your 8th house, that same house where Pluto is leaving. 8th house is the house of intimacy, like we said, shared resources. So this adds a practical but deep influence to this full moon. Venus here is emphasizing loyalty and long-term commitment, urging you to look closely at the bonds that matter the most to you. This is the time for creating stability in areas of your life that feel vulnerable, perhaps through financial planning or deepening trusted connections. The fact that the ruler of this full moon is Venus and is transiting through your 8th house is also suggesting that a lot of the mental health and inner world and connection to the spiritual endings and beginnings you're having, and big transformations that are happening here may also be tied to things to do with your 8th house, things to do with very, very deep soul merging relationships, connections, things to do with trauma, things to do with sex, intimacy, things to do with shared resources, and things to do with you diving deep dark there and kind of alchemizing all of the darkness to light. I have a whole video talking about what else is happening on this day, which is Saturn going direct in Pisces, and the whole video dives into your sign, so I recommend listening to it, linking it in the description box below, but it was also the last video posted. But the fact that this is happening the same day as your full moon is also tying to the energy of the full moon, so I'm just going to briefly talk about what that looks like when we tie Saturn going direct with your full moon. So this is happening in your 10th house of career and public reputation. So that brings that into focus. So if you felt restricted or delayed in your professional goals, Saturn's direct motion is bringing a new sense of clarity and forward momentum. So it's time to solidify your ambitions, and knowing that the foundation that you set up now for your career can really create a long-lasting impact. Other predictions that I could see happening: you might experience an unexpected breakthrough in therapy or coaching or healing, or with a shaman or priest or whatever your way to handle, kind of mental health help is. You could uncover a deep-seated belief that's been holding you back, helping you release emotional weight. You may have a sudden insight about your daily routine or work environment that could push you to make a change that supports your health and wellness. Financial clarity may come, or you may decide to end a financial commitment or partnership that no longer aligns with your values. You could have a deep connection with someone or a deep conversation that allows you to really release any darkness you're holding back or hiding in terms of hidden fears or traumas or things like that. So bringing it all together, Gemini, this full moon in your 12th house is a very profound opportunity for deep, deep, deep healing and introspection, and also greater spiritual connection if you so desire. With Taurus's grounding energy guiding this lunar phase, you're called to find peace and security within yourself, even as hidden aspects are revealed. And because this is happening in your 12th house, this could be even all of the stuff around a time where your mental health may seem up and down, but this is actually creating an opportunity for you to have new beginnings and improvements here. So embrace the shifts that Uranus is bringing as you release what's been lurking in the shadows. Venus in Capricorn, the ruler of this moon, is really supporting you in building trust and security where it matters the most, which will help you emerge stronger and more resilient and more connected to your inner self and the higher realms. The last thing I want to mention here, I think I mentioned it briefly, but I want to emphasize again that the ruler of this full moon, Venus in Capricorn, is really bringing a serious, committed energy to intimate matters, deeper connection, shared finances. So it's really suggesting that an intimate relationship or an experience related to even a shared resources could be the catalyst that helps you transform the hidden patterns in your mental health, in your mental well-being, emotional well-being. So you may find yourself drawn towards a partnership or a deepening connection that is going to help you uncover those emotional layers or old wounds, which will provide a safe space for you to explore your inner self. There's a real sense here that the right relationship or the right connection could become a mirror, which will allow you to see aspects of yourself that have been hidden or suppressed. This influence may also reveal to you what you truly value in intimate relationships, possibly guiding you to build more trust and stability in ways that reach the deepest parts of your subconscious, which will help provide you with healing and closure. Okay, moving on to Cancer. Hello, Cancer. Cancer's risings, suns, and moons. This full moon in Taurus is shining a light on your 11th house, which is the house of friendship, networks, community, long-term aspirations, long-term dreams, and also the house of technology. But with so many layers of transformation of this full moon, expect this to be more than just a social check-in or ending happening here. This lunar phase could really redefine your sense of belonging, your social tribe, your values when it ties to that, your place when it comes to that, and the people you surround yourself with. If you haven't listened to the intro, I highly, highly, highly recommend it, because I go deeper into why this full moon is so profound, and I also have predictions for the collective. But without further ado, diving into your sign specifically, we have Venus in Capricorn, which is the ruler of this full moon, actually going through your 7th house. So with the ruler of this full moon currently in your 7th house, this actually indicates that there's an emphasis on creating stability and commitment in close relationships. So Venus here is encouraging you to build structures and boundaries that protect and honor your personal connections. So you may find that a close friendship or partnership or relationship is playing a central role in helping you align with your long-term goals and community aspirations. This influence suggests that your one-on-one connections could be a source of grounding and support, helping you find clarity in what you need from your social circle. This can also be suggesting that new relationships or existing relationships can play a part in calling forward your soul tribe or your community or social network. Maybe or vice versa. Maybe through your social network and your community, you could be meeting someone romantically. This energy of Venus in Capricorn could really bring an opportunity for a serious commitment or just collaboration. We're not necessarily talking relationship-wise. It could just be collaboration with someone who shares your goals or dreams. Someone that you care about relationship-wise, or that could be potential, or that could be in a relationship with you, could somehow play a part with your goals and dreams. You may also find that the strength of a particular relationship may inspire you to shift how you are interacting with your wider community, and it could be supporting you in establishing more meaningful connections. Now, this is all happening at the same time of a big T square, so there's going to be an impact of that on the full moon. With Jupiter in your 12th house, Mercury in Scorpio in your 5th, and Saturn in Pisces in your 9th, this T square is emphasizing hidden insights, creative expression, and your beliefs. Jupiter in the 12th house is expanding your awareness of the subconscious, possibly unveiling dreams or inner callings that have been lying dormant. Mercury in Scorpio is adding depth to your creative pursuits, encouraging you to tap deep into your passions and communicate them with intensity. Saturn going direct here, which I'll talk about a little more in a bit. It's going direct in your 9th house of higher learning and belief system. So that's helping you solidify your values, your philosophies, travel, especially as you find new ways to balance personal fulfillment with long-term goals. We also have Pluto here happening at the same time of the full moon at the critical degree, and 4 days after it will actually move into Aquarius. So the timing of this is a powerful time for closing old cycles and preparing for a fresh start in how you connect with others in relationships, because it's happening in your 7th house. So it's intensifying transformation in terms of relationships, partnerships, marriage, things like that. With Pluto's energy, you may experience a final push to release any toxic or limiting patterns within love or relationships, which will allow you to rebuild these bonds from a place of trust and mutual respect. Like I mentioned earlier, Saturn is also going direct in Pisces exactly on this day. I have a whole video about this that will go deep into your sign that I released right before this video. I will link it in the description box below, or you can go find it. But basically, how it ties to this full moon on the same day, Saturn's shift in your 9th house is providing momentum for your higher beliefs, personal philosophy, religious beliefs, travel, higher education. If you felt restricted or uncertain in your spiritual or intellectual pursuits, this direct motion happening the same day of the full moon will bring clarity and commitment, helping you realign with your core beliefs. So other things that may happen or unfold around this time, you may find yourself forming a powerful, supportive partnership or relationship, or deepening an existing relationship that aligns with your long-term goals, dreams, vision, or community somehow. An opportunity may arise to collaborate or commit to a shared project with someone who supports your vision for the future. Insights from a close connection could spark a creative pursuit or guide you towards a social or community project that feels aligned with your passions. Bringing it all together, Cancer. This full moon in your 11th house is a powerful time to examine your social networks, your soul tribe, your community, and your dreams for the future. With its ruler, Venus, currently in Capricorn, this is anchoring your partnerships. And so there's an invitation here to bring more structure, loyalty, and commitment to your close relationships. Allow the energy of this full moon to guide you in reshaping your social world to reflect your evolving values, creating connections that truly support and inspire you. This is an exciting time for you, Cancer, especially the combo of the 11th and 7th house energy. Let me know in the comments how much of this you've already seen unfold. But remember, the full moon energy, it kind of is a few days before to a few days after. But to a fuller extent, it could be a culmination period of seeds that were planted back in May. And it could be something, that you see having an impact on you until the next full moon. Okay, moving on to Leo. Hello, Leos, suns, moons, and risings. This full moon in Taurus is highlighting your 10th house of career, reputation, and life goals, which is illuminating your path forward and calling for a deeper alignment with your professional purpose. With Taurus energy grounding this full moon, expect themes of stability, commitment, and practical growth in your career. You're going to be having likely changes here or big aha moments. For going further, if you haven't listened to the intro, I highly recommend it because I go into why this full moon is not like a normal full moon, why it's kind of more potent, what the other energies are at play, and my predictions for the collective. Okay, but back to you. So the ruler of this full moon is Venus, because Venus rules Taurus. And so to understand really what this full moon is bringing, we have to look at Venus as well. Venus right now recently entered Capricorn at the beginning of November, and it's at the beginnings of Capricorn in your 6th house. With Venus, the ruler of this full moon, in Capricorn in your 6th house, there's a focus for you on bringing dedication and strong work ethic into your daily routine, your health practices, your daily work life, your health routine as well. Venus here suggests that creating order in your everyday life can support your larger career aspirations. This energy might encourage you to connect with coworkers or even seek mentorship, as partnerships, specifically in your work life, your daily life, or your daily routine, can offer valuable guidance now. The emphasis here is on steady, committed effort that builds your reputation over time. This influence may also point to a workplace connection or collaboration that helps you advance professionally. Alternatively, you may feel inspired to cultivate wellness practices that support your career, allowing you to show up with more energy and focus. There's a big theme suggesting here that a lot of unlocking this positive momentum and positive endings and positive beginnings when it comes to your career, your reputation, your vocation is coming from readjusting things to do with your routine, daily habits, health, and things like that. And there's also emphasis here on bringing in like a self-love routine as well. That could really help you somehow. So if you're having a hard time with work or you want to bring new things at work, utilize the time at home in your routine to also focus on a lot of self-love and self-care. And pouring love into it that way can actually have a positive impact reflecting on work. There's also a T-square happening at this time. And this T-square is adding complexity by highlighting themes for you to do with social support, home life, and deep transformation. Jupiter in your 11th house is expanding your network, and it's encouraging connections that align with your goals, while Mercury in Scorpio is inviting you to dig deep into family dynamics, creating a stable foundation to heal familial, deep-rooted beliefs and issues. And then Saturn is going direct again in your 8th house. I'll talk about it more, but it's also emphasizing the importance of financial and emotional commitments. We have Pluto at its final degree happening at the same time. 4 days after this full moon, it will actually switch into Aquarius. So with the full moon here, the timing is emphasizing Pluto's impact at the last degree of your 6th house. So this is a time of intense transformation in your daily work life and your health routines and your health overall. You may feel compelled to release outdated habits or even shift your approach to wellness. This influence is encouraging deep changes in your lifestyle, clearing space for routines that genuinely support your career ambitions. 6th house also rules pets. So you could be adopting a pet, or you could be inheriting a pet, or you could, I don't know, there's a theme here of something to do with pets. Something could be happening with your pet at the same time. And like I mentioned too, Saturn is going direct in Pisces on this day after its retrograde from June 29th. This is a really big thing, so I'm just going to talk about it in terms of how it's happening at the same time of this full moon briefly. But I have a whole video that goes on into this for you in your sign and also the collective that I will link in the description box below. But you can also find it yourself if you want. I posted it before this one. So Saturn's forward motion in your 8th house is offering momentum in matters of shared resources, intimacy, passion, transformation, spirituality, and sex. When I say intimacy, it includes that because 8th house also rules that. So if you felt stuck or uncertain in these areas, Saturn's direct motion provides clarity, helping you to commit to relationships, financial decisions, or intimacy that supports your long-term goals. What was I going to say here? You could also be having sudden endings or beginnings when it comes to that as well. Okay, so any other predictions or specific events that I didn't list? There could be a powerful career opportunity arising, perhaps from someone within your network or as a result of a previous effort, which guides you towards more responsibility, influence, and authority. You may also feel called to adopt a structured routine or health practice that directly benefits your own professional life. You may be getting downloads, suggestions, hearing things, anything that comes through about this through this time that has to do with health or daily routine could be especially profound. A partnership or mentor figure at work could offer guidance, helping you clarify your career path or enhance your reputation. So bringing it all together, Leo, this full moon in your 10th house offers a powerful opportunity to refocus on your career and life direction. With Venus in Capricorn influencing your 6th house, there's an invitation to build strong routines and connections that support your ambitions. So embrace the grounding energy of this full moon to create a clear, committed path forward, and that will help you ensure that your daily effort is aligning with your larger goals. Hello, Virgo, Virgo's suns, moons, and rising. This full moon in Taurus is lighting up your 9th house of expansion, learning, spirituality, life philosophy, kind of world outlook, personal growth, and travel. So with the grounded energy of Taurus, you're encouraged to solidify plans around higher education, travel, religion, spirituality, or even publishing that supports your life philosophy, because the 9th house also rules publishing. And side note, it also rules astrology. If you haven't listened to the intro, I highly recommend it because I talk about a lot of aspects to do with this full moon that makes it not just a normal full moon in Taurus, but an incredibly potent full moon and a potent time frame. November is a supercharged astrological month. And I also make predictions on what's happening at the collective level and how to apply all of that on the personal level. But coming back to you, to really understand what is coming or changing or being kind of energized in your life with this full moon, we have to know what the ruler of this full moon is doing as well. And the full moon is happening on November 15th at 24 degrees of Taurus, which the ruler of Taurus is Venus. And Venus just recently at the beginning of November entered Capricorn. So with Venus, the ruler of this full moon in Capricorn, that's in your 5th house. There's a strong focus on creativity, romance, self-expression. Venus here is really encouraging you to take a more serious, committed approach to your passions, whether that's in art, romance, or a project close to your heart. The 5th house also rules your inner child, hobbies, children, flings, and entrepreneurship as well. And it also rules leadership overall and being in the spotlight. So you might find yourself you might find that a romantic or creative connection is the catalyst for a personal transformation, and that could inspire you to explore new horizons. This could be a time where love or creativity leads you to expand your worldview. If someone in the past has entered your life romantically, and it was something you kind of maybe ignored or tried to run away from, Venus in Capricorn is now asking you to ground that and to get serious when it comes to that. And this could somehow change and start to tie with your worldview. It could really shift your spiritual view, your philosophical view, or maybe even how you travel, things like that. This influence might also suggest a grounded, practical approach to your creative pursuits, to your hobbies, to the things that would make your inner child come awake with joy. Fifth house rules joy. Alternatively, a romantic interest or partnership could introduce you to new beliefs or perspective, inspiring your personal growth. Alternatively, this could also be talking about entrepreneurial ventures that you're being encouraged to explore and to ground more seriously. And maybe love can also play a part in expanding that as well. And that can overall play a part in how much you're traveling in your life and philosophical view. We have the T-square happening here at the same time, and this adds more complexity, and this could create a dynamic influence on your communication, partnerships, and career, because it's activating your 10th house, your 7th house, and your 3rd house. So this could bring new opportunities in this time frame in your professional life, your career life, while Mercury in Scorpio is encouraging deeper connections and discussions in your immediate environment, while Saturn, finally going direct in your 7th house, is emphasizing clarity and recommitment in relationships, which is helping you establish boundaries and commitments that support your journey. I'll talk a bit more about that Saturn in a sec. We also have Pluto around this full moon at 29th, the critical degree in Capricorn. 4 days after this full moon on November 19th, Pluto will move into Aquarius. Pluto is a very slow-moving planet that has deep impact on us as a collective and generation. It spends around 20 years in each sign. So, but the fact that it's in its critical degree, which is very impactful, and shifting out of it 4 days after this full moon means that this is a time around this full moon of transformation in your romantic or creative life. You may feel, because it's happening in Capricorn, by the way, which is where you have Venus having just entered. So you may feel a deep desire to release old patterns that held you back in terms of love or romance, or to even redefine how you express yourself creatively or entrepreneurially. Is that a word? Entrepreneurially. Anyway, Pluto here is encouraging you to embrace your authentic passions and to let go of anything that hinders your joy, including yourself. Where are you standing in the way of yourself and joy? Saturn, as I mentioned, is going direct in Pisces at the day of the full moon. This is a big deal because Saturn entered retrograde in June. This was a big thing for you, Virgo, because this happened in your 7th house of relationships. And now there's direct motion again after a pause or stagnation. I highly, highly recommend. I actually made a video that goes all into this. I'll link it in the description box below, but it was also released right before this video. Go watch it because I go deep into what is changing for you in your life and in your sign. This is something that's changing this month on the 15th, but it's a slow moving planet, so it'll actually be impacting you for the next year. And it'll be bringing life shifts as well. So highly recommend it. I'll briefly talk about, since it's happening at the same day as the full moon, I'm going to mention how it's tying in with the full moon briefly here, but I really recommend you get a deep dive in the Saturn video. Okay, so here with this full moon brings culminations, brings endings, and brings external life events shifting. And that is happening in your 9th house, as we said, of philosophy, spirituality, travel, beliefs. At the same time, Saturn is going direct, ending retrograde in your 7th house of serious relationships, lifelong commitments, love. True love, really, soul-connected love. So if you felt since June unclear or restricted in terms of relationships, if you triggered a pause, an instigation, if you were 1 foot in, 1 foot out of something that was a beautiful blessing to you, if you've been having issues in partnerships, or if you've pulled yourself away from something that was actually promising, or you caused a pause, you caused things to take a step back, Saturn's forward movement will help clarify which partnerships truly support your growth, which are meant for you, and what will enable you to build lasting connections and will allow you to finally move forward and move in a sense of commitment and seriousness in places where you held back otherwise, or to make a serious decision to, officially like walk away. If you're not single, having walked away, but if you're in a partnership where you're one foot in, one foot out, you're being called to decide. And with this happening at the same time of the full moon, the culmination, the event, breakthrough, this could be triggering an event that triggers a sudden change here, especially with Uranus aspecting this full moon in direct conjunction. Uranus is the planet that brings about sudden changes, sudden endings, sudden beginnings, sudden life changes. So with this full moon here, you could be having a sudden shift in your perspective when it comes to love and life philosophy and spirituality, and it could cause you to enact a big change into your personal life, your romantic life, and your life when it comes to love. So making sure I didn't miss any other possible things that could unfold at this time. A powerful career opportunity could also be arising around this time. You could also be drawn to explore a new field of study or a new trip, or publish a project that reflects your personal beliefs and ambitions. Travels you might be feeling drawn to at this time could really change and shift your life philosophy. When I talked about new possible career, that is really more emphasized in terms of entrepreneurship or passions or hobbies or things you really love. A romantic relationship or creative project could bring a fresh perspective, opening your mind to new possibilities. A mentor, a partner, or a close connection, or a new relationship, or reestablishing an old flame could encourage you to take a leap of faith, which could expand your horizons and support your growth. Bringing it all together, Virgo, this full moon in your 9th house is a powerful opportunity to expand your worldview, your spiritual view, your philosophical view, how you view the world, and solidify your goals around personal growth. With Venus in Capricorn in your 5th house, and with Saturn going direct in your 7th, there's an invitation for you to bring a grounded approach to love, relationships, creativity, self-expression, entrepreneurship, and to realize that they don't contradict each other when you're acting an embodiment of your true self. Embrace this moment to align your passions with your broader vision, setting the foundations for long-term fulfillment in all of these aspects of life. There's a wake-up call here to see how your life view, your spiritual view could be tied to love, could be tied to self-expression of your true self, and and to invite you to see that they're not contradicting or conflicting, and events will play out in a way that will bring new beginnings in all these areas. Moving on to Libra. Hello, Libra. Libra is also my sun sign. Just saying. Okay. Hello, Libra, suns, moons, and risings. This full moon is happening in Taurus, which is illuminating your 8th house of transformation, intimacy, shared resources, trauma, transmuting dark to light, and also passion in terms of sex, and also deep spiritual connection, and the occult and the metaphysical. So with Taurus energy grounding this lunar moment, you're invited to find stability in your deepest connections, whether financial or emotional. Venus in Capricorn, which is the ruler of Taurus, and thus the ruler of this full moon, is in your 4th house. Now, to fully understand what this full moon is bringing to you, we have to understand too what Venus is doing, because that is the ruler of this full moon. Okay, it's not as simple as other astrologers might say, where you're just boom looking at the house. It's the house, the sign, the aspects, the angles, and also the rulers, and all of the aspects that the rulers is going through as well. By the way, if you didn't listen to the intro, highly recommend it, because I go into the why this full moon is deeper and more impactful than other full moons in Taurus, and predictions for the collective, and the numerological and degree significance of the 24th degree that this full moon is happening in. So with Venus, the ruler of this full moon in Capricorn in your 4th house, there's an emphasis for you on home, family, and personal foundations. Wow, let me say, I'm just applying it to myself because I'm a sun in Libra. So true. I'm having a family reunion. My brother just had a baby. I don't normally see my family because they live on the other side of the planet. I'm recording this right now with my mom and sister, while staying with them, and we're having a little reunion. We just had a family wedding. So, I'm an example that a lot of this is true. And Venus is love, and it's not just romantic love, it's love overall. And Capricorn is very grounding energy. So it being in your 4th house, it's bringing a loving, grounding energy to family, but also to home life, and roommates and your own home. So Venus here is encouraging you to seek stability and commitment in your home life, perhaps by strengthening bonds with family members or creating a secure and nurturing environment for yourself and for your household, even if your household does not include your family. And remember that we're tying this back to the 8th house where the full moon is. So you may find that a family relationship or a household or a roommate or whoever you live with, or a home-based project, or your house, your home, things like that, serves as a catalyst for the transformations happening in your 8th house, encouraging you to explore your roots and strengthen your inner foundation. And maybe you could be pointing a mirror back at yourself to see what in you needs to be alchemized and brought to the light. This influence might also point to a financial or emotional investment in your home, such as making changes to your living space that reflect your evolving values. Alternatively, a family connection could help you address or heal past issues, which could bring a sense of closure and inner peace, or your family could be forced to solve family issues together. Alternatively, funding from family, if your family is helping you pay for something or you're helping your family pay for something, could either increase or could get cut. This full moon is also happening amidst a T-square involving Jupiter, Mercury, and Saturn. So when it comes to where that hits on your chart, it's highlighting themes of finances, personal beliefs, work routines, travel, philosophy, spirituality, real estate, home, did I miss something? Health, etc. So Jupiter in your 9th house is encouraging growth in education or travel, while Mercury in Scorpio in your 2nd house is bringing a focus on financial matters, maybe some communications and news coming in terms of there, and it's inviting you to reflect on what you truly value and how that value is being reflected in terms of how you're handling your money and what you're spending money on. Saturn's direct motion in your 6th house, which I'll expand on later, helps you establish routines and responsibilities that support your health and well-being. In the midst of this full moon, 4 days after, Pluto will move into Aquarius. So that means that it's at a very critical turning point where Pluto is sitting at the critical degree, but it's the last moments of this at the point that the full moon is happening in Taurus. So it's trining Pluto in Capricorn. So because of this is marking even more of a transformative period in your home and family life. It's further emphasizing that. This energy may be prompting you to release old family patterns or to confront deep-rooted issues and emotions with the family and family beliefs and maybe inherited beliefs or relationship issues. And it allows you to create a more authentic foundation for yourself. Maybe bad beliefs you've had about certain family members or things you've been avoiding, are coming to the surface to be faced. I mentioned also that at the same day of this full moon, Saturn is going direct in Pisces. I have a whole video on this that goes into sign by sign forecast. I highly recommend you listen to this because this is a pretty big deal. Right now, I'm just going to talk about this briefly since it is happening the day of the full moon on how those energies blend together. But really listen to that video. I will link it in the description box below, but also it was just posted before this one. So Saturn shift forward in your 6th house is really providing clarity and structure in your daily routines and your health practices. If you felt unclear or restricted, Saturn's direct motion will help bring stability, allowing you to build habits that align with your goals. Okay, so that was a lot. Let me see any other predictions and event examples that might unfold. You may experience a profound shift in your relationship with family or an opportunity to address deep-seated issues that allow for healing and closure. A financial decision or investment related to your home could bring a sense of security, aligning with your long-term goals. You might feel compelled to make changes in your living environment that support emotional growth, creating a space that reflects your evolving self. You may have this could be a time too that you could be meeting someone or ending a pattern or closing a cycle with someone that will impact some kind of transformation in terms of intimacy, passion, sex. It's a time for like deeper connection. 8th house is about that, and 8th house is also about deeper levels of spirituality. This could also be a time that you're closing a cycle, perhaps on a trauma, deep-seated trauma, a serious trauma that could have impacted you a lot, or could have played a part in how your intimacy was playing out. Transformation as well, really hinting with shared resources here. So things could be amplifying if you're sharing money with anyone or someone is providing for you. With Venus and Capricorn in your 4th house, there's an invitation to find stability within your home and family connections. This could also further indicate that maybe you meet someone that's somehow tied to your family background, or reminds you of home, or feels like home, or grew up where you grew up, or makes you feel less homesick. And impacts you having internal transformation and purging a lot of deep-seated beliefs. And this could be a chance to explore intimacy that releases any karma that might be passed down through the lineage, in terms of, like bad karma in terms of relationships, family, etc. Embrace this lunar energy to release old patterns and establish a secure foundation, because regardless, all of these are coming together to allow you to move forward with strength and clarity. Okay, moving on to Scorpio. Hello, Scorpio. Suns, moons, and rising. This full moon in Taurus is highlighting your 7th house of partnerships, relationships, and commitment. Seventh house rules marriage, and if you don't know, I love love, so I love the 7th house and also love the 8th house, because it's about very deep, like the next level intimacy and passion and things like that, and like soul merging love. But anyway, back to the 7th house. 7th house is the kind of relationships or partnerships that are serious relationships, that talks about unions, the coming together. Even though you have Scorpio here, and every ascendant will have some different sign in the 7th house, but the 7th house is traditionally associated with Libra, the sign that is ruled by Venus, and the sign that it also represents, they're called the lovers of the zodiac, and they also represent union and love. So expect this lunar phase to bring important developments in your one-on-one relationships, whether in romance or business, close partnerships, or close soul connection like friendships. The Taurus energy is bringing a grounding influence, but expect the unexpected, because we also have Uranus here that is conjuncting the moon. Since the full moon is conjuncting Uranus, expect the unexpected, because unexpected revelations or sudden changes in these partnerships may arise, which will push you to break free from relationship patterns or commitments that no longer serve you. You, 7th house, full moon, if you could be experiencing with Uranus here, sudden ending in a relationship, if it's been coming, or a sudden start to a new relationship, or you could suddenly meet someone that could end up being a very important partner for you, or could reflect aspects of an ideal partner for you, or could be preparing you for your ideal partner if they are not the ideal partner itself. Like, this is soulmate energy, right? Full moon in Taurus during Scorpio season, of course, with conjunction of Uranus and all of the kind of other aspects around here. This is a great time possibly to be meeting a soulmate, or to be ending relationships that are holding you back from being with the right person. If you're with someone but things have been kind of going at a certain pace, it doesn't necessarily mean there could be an ending, but Uranus will still bring sudden changes into your life or the life of the person that you're seeing, or sudden changes to your relationship. Maybe something happens that suddenly intensifies your relationship, etc. So this could mean surprising developments, whether in current relationships and partnerships, or in the entrance of new unconventional connections that challenges your views on partnerships. Now, for a small minority of you, 7th house also talks about legal issues, legalities, and business partnerships. So this will be perhaps a smaller minority, but Uranus here can also bring sudden changes there, most likely sudden endings, whether it's endings to some kind of legal issue you're having, or endings to a business partnership, but it could also suddenly endings usher in new beginnings. So it could also be a new beginning, but with the Uranus stuff there, it could just be chaos being kind of upheavaled, and things being stirred that way, but leading to neither an ending nor a beginning, but just a transformation. To understand the full impact of this moon, it's important to see what the ruler of this moon is currently doing and transiting and aspecting. So the ruler Venus of this Taurus full moon is currently in Capricorn. It entered Capricorn at the beginning of November, which is in your third house of communication, siblings, local environment, social media, writing to a certain extent, and kind of the lower levels of information. So the energy of this full moon is channeled through the lens of communication and mental clarity. This is a time to express yourself openly in partnerships, because Venus brings a pragmatic, grounded quality to the way that you connect and convey your needs. You may find yourself having a significant conversation or clearing the air on issues that have been building in a relationship. Now, third house also represents, like I mentioned, communication, but that also extends to receiving communications and messages, whether in the form of letters, emails, texts, calls, etc. So you could be receiving some kind of important communication from a sibling, from someone in your daily life, your local environment. But remember that this is tying back to your seventh house. So you could be getting important information that will change your relationship status or your relationship if you're single, whether it's an ex reaching out to you, someone who ghosted or reaching out to you, someone you ghosted reaching out to you. Maybe you're feeling the pull to reach out to someone that you ended with long ago but you miss, someone that you just met but you haven't heard from, or you're wanting to escalate things, or you think it's casual and then they message you and want to go to the next level, something like this, right? There's some kind of maybe communication that's coming in. That is allowing, if you're feeling drawn to it, this could be that the full moon is kind of being channeled through that lens of communication and mental clarity. So that full moon in your seventh house is being channeled through being able to communicate and intellectualize. And so this is a time for you to encourage yourself to express openly in partnerships, as Venus is bringing a pragmatic, grounded quality to the way you connect and convey your needs. And if you're single, express yourself openly in what you're looking for and what you want, because again, Venus in Capricorn is grounded and pragmatic about that. It wants their practical needs met to feel safe to open up. So you may find yourself having a significant conversation, or also clearing the air on issues that have been building in a relationship. You could be experiencing a sudden shift in a key relationship, potentially the realization that you want something different, or that a new dynamic is necessary for growth. This might involve making commitments or clarifying boundaries to ensure that your relationships reflect your authentic values. Conversations with siblings or close friends could also take on an added importance, as they help you reflect on or clarify your approach to partnerships. Maybe a potential sibling this is for a very small number of you, but this is an interpretation. A potential sibling may be willing to go in on a business partnership, or help you with the legal issues, or even introduce you to someone romantically. Be open to unconventional or surprising insights that push you to redefine your relationships, especially those that may feel restrictive or that you've outgrown. And be open to new messages and sudden messages that might come in and cause sudden change and upheaval. Moving on to Sagittarius. This full moon is in your sixth house, and it brings the focus to work, daily routines, health, fitness, and service. Sixth house, side note, also rules pets. If you haven't listened to the intro, I highly recommend it. Because I go into predictive things to do with the collective, and I talk about why this full moon is more powerful than regular Taurus full moons. There's lots happening this month. It's super charged. Okay, anyway, the Uranus conjunction that is happening with this full moon could also bring unexpected changes in your work environment or health routines, or your health itself. Or, for a small number of you, something to do with pets, urging you to break free from mundane habits and create a daily life that is more aligned with your values. This aspect of Uranus conjuncting the full moon on the day of the full moon of November 15th may lead to a disruption in your routine, but it's ultimately designed to help you innovate and build healthier, more authentic patterns in your everyday life. If certain things are coming to an ending, or if you're feeling like certain things to do with your health, your fitness, how you've been doing things is no longer benefiting you, and you're feeling the call to end something, full moons are all about ending and beginning a new cycle. So trust that. And they're all also kind of cyclical, going back 6 months to when the new moon in Taurus had a seed planted back in May. So think back of what was going on in May that you feel like is coming to a culmination. Now, to really understand the full impact of this full moon, it's important to look at what the current state of its ruler, which is Venus. With Venus right now transiting your second house of finances, values, real estate, self-worth, stocks, investments, money, and assets, this full moon channels energy towards establishing a strong foundation in your resources and income. This is a powerful time for you to evaluate your relationship with money and to bring balance between your material needs and your work-life balance. Venus in Capricorn is suggesting a structured approach when it comes to your money, your investments, how you spend money, etc., which encourages you to set clear financial or health goals that supports your values. Linking this back to the 6th house, if there's ways that you're spending money on your daily life, your health, and your routine that are not fitting, things are going to happen that will bring your attention to that and cause you to maybe cut bills that are no longer being serviced. If there's like bills for like a fitness app, a gym that you haven't been paying attention to that you shouldn't pay anymore or that are behind, that's being answered. But also you might be called to answer, maybe you need to be encouraged to be spending more money on your health, on your daily routine, on your fitness, and that's going to require a rebudgeting into your second house. Maybe money issues or real estate issues or housing issues or stock issues or investment issues are somehow affecting your daily life, your daily routine, your health, and your fitness, and you're being called to put in more balance that way. So you may encounter an unexpected job opportunity as well, which could change in your daily role or restructure, or like there could be restructuring at work that pushes you towards a more fulfilling daily life. This may also be a time of clarity around financial or work habits that no longer serve you, prompting you to redefine priorities to create a more balanced routine. Health-wise, this full moon could reveal sudden insights or new practices to support your well-being, potentially involving alternative or unconventional health approaches. If you suddenly have a health scare during this month, don't worry, don't freak out. It's likely not to be something permanent. It's likely that the universe is trying to bring attention to you somehow, to aspects of your health and fitness and daily routine that could really benefit your life. And it's likely something needed to happen or come to an ending or cause a little scare to bring that attention, to cause that change. I was going to say something else. Any downloads that you're getting about health things, whether it's things you've been doing that are no longer working and you've been having a feeling but you're not sure, or new things that you should try, certain health changes that happen here could be pointing you in that direction for a big reason. Saturn is also going direct on this day, exact same day as the full moon, after it's been retrograde since June 29th. I made a whole video on that goes into all signs, including yours, so I highly recommend listening to it. I'll link it below. But this further amplifies the power of this full moon and the idea that there's going to be some kind of restructuring and possible endings, new beginnings, and upheavals, but definite momentum, things flowing. Hello, Capricorn, suns, moons, and rising. If you haven't listened to the intro, I highly recommend it because I talk about collective energy and collective predictions of this full moon. Plus, I talk about in detail all the other aspects happening and all the other transits happening that superpower this time and this full moon, which makes it more potent than regular full moons in Taurus. Okay, so with this full moon lighting up your 5th house of creativity, pleasure, joy, romance, also 5th house of children, including your inner child, and entrepreneurship, and leadership, and let's see, anything else, and hobbies. This is really a time of heightened expression, joy, and potentially even romantic surprises for you, especially with Uranus conjuncting the moon on the day of the full moon. Uranus is the planet of sudden changes, of upheavals, of rebellion, of chaos, and often brings, boom, sudden change. So you may feel drawn to break out of routines and embrace spontaneity, welcoming new forms of expression or indulging in creative projects that inspire you. Capricorn, So for you, Capricorn, Taurus, where the sign that this full moon is happening in, is also an earth sign that asks you for grounding, like all the earth signs do. So having it here in your 5th house and having a full moon here with Uranus, you could be grounding a lot of your creative energy. If you've had creative ideas, if you've fallen behind on creative projects, whether it's things you've written or new businesses you're working on, or new music or singing or acting, or I don't know, like or some home creative painting project, things like that. The Taurian energy is asking you to ground that from an idea in your head to actual reality. And with the Uranus energy, that can be a sudden combustion of energy for you to do that. You know, it could look like months where you've had zero progress, and then suddenly around this full moon, maybe the days building up to it, or the days after it, or the day of, boom, you're suddenly super motivated and super able to translate that idea from inception to creation. The influence of Uranus here could also bring a sudden change in your approach to dating, or bring a new romantic interest in your life. Now, it's important as well to understand fully what this new moon is doing. What this full moon. It's important as well to understand fully what this full moon is doing, to look at the ruler of this full moon. And the ruler is Venus in Capricorn in the 1st house. With Venus, the full moon's ruler, transiting your 1st house of self and identity, I always like to call it the house of I am. It's also the house of the layer of which through which we perceive the world and the world perceives us. There's an emphasis on personal expression, self-worth, and physical appearance, which this house also rules. Venus in the 1st house lends a magnetic quality to your presence, making this a powerful time for you to embrace your authentic self and show up confidently in social or romantic situations. You may feel inclined to invest in self-care or showcase a new look, as Venus encourages you to prioritize self-love and personal values. And it's kind of through prioritizing self-love and personal values that you will be coming to necessary endings for things that don't serve when it comes to romance or blocks with creative projects, or dealings with children, or, you know, all of that 5th house stuff. And it's through, again, prioritizing self-love, getting real with who I am, what your creed is. I like to say your personal creed, that you will be able to create from a more aligned space and be happy with those creations, and that a lot of those relationship and dating changes that are linked to the 5th house will have as well. I said relationship and dating changes, but I really meant more kind of 7th house rules relationships more. 5th house is more like dating and the feelings of romance. Anyway, but you get the idea. All of that is being fueled by changes when it comes to your relationship with yourself. The 1st house, the I am. Let's see, any other predictive events that I could give you examples of that kind of symbolizes all of these energies mixing together. A creative project you're working on, or you've been working on, or you suddenly have new momentum with, could gain even more momentum or reach a culmination, possibly attracting unexpected attention or sparking new inspiration. You may meet someone exciting and different from your usual type if you're dating, or a current romance could undergo a thrilling change, bringing a fresh dynamic to the connection. Personal expression becomes a focus during this time, so you might feel more drawn to showcase your talents or to take center stage in a way that highlights your individuality, or maybe to create a YouTube channel like me. I think that really sums it up. Either way, it's a lot of positive energy. 5th house is a beautiful, beautiful positive health, especially when it's being ignited by your 1st. So, great time. Okay, now moving on to Aquarius. Aquarius, this full moon is happening in your 4th house. If you've missed the intro, highly recommend listening to it, because I talk about why this moon is supercharged in the intro and the numerological aspects of it as well. And I also talk about some predictive things for the collective. But anyway, back to you. So this full moon in your 4th house in Taurus, happening on November 15th, is bringing focus to home, family, and your emotional foundation. This full moon is also happening the same day we have Saturn going direct after its retrograde. I have a whole video on that because it's going to impact you, Aquarius, a lot, because it's happening in Pisces. Very highly recommend you listen to that. You'll find that video linked in the description box below. But it was also the last video I posted if you want to find it yourself. Anyway, but this full moon also is going to be conjunct Uranus. This means it could bring unexpected changes or realization within your family or your living environment, or if you have any roommates, or like if you live with a partner, or just your apartment, things like that. Let's see, this could look like things with a change in rent, sudden request from a landlord, suddenly you find a new apartment, suddenly you invest a lot in your home or something like that. Or maybe there's a family pregnancy that gets announced, or maybe you're missing family a lot and you decide to go spend time with them, or maybe you're far away from them, but you know, something with family gets stirred up, etc. Or you start feeling like you're really missing the concept of a home or building roots. It's a powerful time for breaking away from family patterns or traditions that feel restrictive, possibly leading to a new sense of freedom or independence in your domestic life. You may also feel called to create a living space that more authentically reflects who you are now. This could be a time also where, you know, you might get news about your family growing. To really understand as well the full impact of this full moon, we have to look at what the ruler of this full moon is doing. The ruler of this full moon in Taurus is Venus. Venus is ruled by Taurus, same as Libra. And Venus right now is transiting in Capricorn, which it just entered the beginning of November. And for you, that equates to your 12th house. So Venus in the 12th house brings a reflective, introspective quality to this full moon. You may find yourself drawn to spending time alone because 12th house is the house of isolation. And you may find yourself as well exploring your inner world and nurturing spiritual practices. The 12th house is the house also that connects us with other realms, with greater spiritualities. It's the relationship with our higher being, or God, as some people are scared to when they hear that word, but really whatever you prefer to call your higher power, it's the relationship with that as well. And it's also, the 12th house is also hidden realms, hidden secrets, hidden aspects of ourself. And it's also mental health, right? All of those kind of tied together. It's mental health. It's how we are our own worst enemy. The 12th house as well is idealization, over idealization, and also Taurian, Capricornian energy coming with this full moon. It could be grounding and making idealizing realistic through supporting humanitarian causes or supporting the underdog. So this is an ideal time for releasing old emotional attachments and for healing relationships with family or ancestry. Because again, all of this 12th house energy with Venus here is what's fueling the ending, changes, or transformations coming into your 4th house of family, household, motherhood, house, home, etc. So Venus here is also supporting forgiveness and compassion, which allows you to work through unresolved feelings that might be surfacing. It could really be a beautiful time for you to either deal with mental health issues that have affected your family, or similarly with family issues that affected your mental health, and to ground a lot of positive change and idealization there. Maybe as well, a spiritual connection with your higher power, spiritual practice can help bring positive change and maybe deal with any possible endings or transformations that you're having when it comes to your family, home, and household. Other possible interpretations or manifestations of this energy, emotional insights or dreams may reveal hidden patterns related to family, enabling you to work through and release past attachments. A sudden change in your home life or shift within a family relationship could occur, which could encourage you to redefine your idea of home in a way that actually aligns with your individuality. This is also an excellent time for practicing self-compassion and prioritizing emotional well-being, especially if old memories or unresolved family issues resurface or are weighing down on you. Okay, finally, Pisces suns, moons, and risings. I am a Pisces ascendant, so hello, fellow Pisces. Okay, so this full moon is happening in our 3rd house. Our 3rd house is our house of communication, learning, siblings, close connections, also writing, also to a certain extent like kind of really close nearby travel. And this full moon is happening the same day when Saturn is going direct after being retrograde since June 29th. And it's also, this full moon is conjuncting Uranus. And Uranus conjuncting the full moon could bring surprising news, because the third house also rules receiving communication. Or a sudden shift in, I was going to say our local environment, but I'll stop talking in ours. Or a sudden, I'll switch to second person. A sudden shift in your local environment could bring fresh perspectives. You could feel inspired to break free from old communication patterns. You could embrace a more authentic and liberated way of expressing yourself. This might involve a new project, such as writing or teaching, or it could be a time when you gain a new understanding or perspective on a situation close to home. Taurus, the energy that this full moon is happening in is a very grounding energy. It asks us to make things practical, whereas the third house, it likes to stay kind of in planning and communicating mode. So there's an energy here of, if there is things like writing or teaching or learning projects or communications we've been avoiding, we're being asked to actually ground it into the physical and the material. So to understand the full scope of this full moon accurately, we have to understand what the ruler of this full moon is doing and its current state right now. And so this full moon, as we've said, is in Taurus. The ruler of Taurus is Venus. Venus has recently, at the beginning of November, entered Capricorn, which is your 11th house. So Venus is in your 11th house, which emphasizes friendships, community, long-term aspirations and dreams, and kind of your social circle. This placement encourages you to connect with people who support your vision and share your values. It's a favorable time to invest in group projects or to set goals that align with your ideals. Venus in Capricorn here could be bringing influential allies or could help you attract people who resonate with your authentic self. What's interesting is, to a certain level, 11th house and 3rd house both rule social media. 11th house rules the technology and community aspect, and 3rd house rules the communication and connection aspect. And so there's something here, if you're, this could be for a minority of people, but if you're someone who relies on social media, this could be bringing some kind of culmination or a positive shift in terms of that, or possibly something ending or beginning here. This could also be a time when you could be meeting or connecting with possible friends or creating a new community or soul tribe through social media or through technology. Like we said as well, 3rd house also represents siblings. So for some people, there could be kind of an ending of a chapter with your relationship with your siblings, or you could be getting a message or some communication from your siblings. Maybe society or your community or your long-term dreams are somehow pushing you or affecting you to improve or change or make fresh your relationship with your siblings. This full moon is a culmination of themes that began around the new moon in Taurus last May. So think back to what was kind of happening end of April to mid-May of last year, and it could bring back echoes of that period. Either significant insights or realizations may emerge, especially related to intimate connections and how you communicate your true desires. With the ruler of this moon, Venus, placed in your 11th house, the focus shifts towards friendships, community, and your long-term dreams, because Venus here is emphasizing commitment and structure in your social circles. So you might feel drawn to form or solidify relationships that align with your evolving values. And this is all happening as Saturn is going direct in your 1st house. So the day of the full moon, November 15th, is the same day Saturn goes direct after being retrograde since June 29th. I have a whole entire video on this that goes into detail sign by sign and the collective. I'm going to link it in the description box below. You can also find it because it was the last video I posted, so it should be easy to find. I'll briefly kind of talk about what it would bring here combined with the full moon. So Saturn's direct motion in your 1st house marks a significant shift in your sense of self and how you project yourself into the world. This is a period of stepping into a new level of personal responsibility and authority and feeling more grounded and confident in who you are. And this energy could be spreading to how you are showing up in community, in your social circle and friends, and calling in your soul tribe, which can further spread into how you are communicating with people digitally, virtually, and in person, and portraying yourself online, and meeting people that way as well, and how you're also communicating through writing and speaking. You could be feeling a massive boost here, and the things you are creating could be very well welcomed and supported by your soul tribe and community. There's also, and I think I said this a little earlier, but I'll say it again, there's also a very strong feeling of probably meeting soul tribe related people online, or things online leading to you meeting soul tribe related people. Taking all of these aspects into account, this full moon could bring healing around past wounds, especially in communication and self-expression. You may feel a strong need to speak your truth or resolve misunderstandings, potentially, especially with family or siblings. Like I said, the third house rules siblings. Additionally, opportunities may arise to connect with like-minded individuals or groups. This can help expand your vision and align your long-term goals with your values. You may be drawn to commit more deeply to a cause or project that feels significant. The third house full moon might also bring practical, tangible changes, perhaps related to communication, travel, because it rules short-distance travel, or even a significant conversation. You may feel called to visit a place connected to your past, or engage in a meaningful discussion that leads to closure or resolution. Or an unexpected message or encounter could offer a fresh perspective, potentially inspiring a new idea or leading to a breakthrough in a writing or communication project. Like I said, 11th house also rules dreams. So, and that energy is pushing towards the third house, which is communication and writing. So maybe a dream will push you to reach out to communicate with someone that helps make that dream a reality. For example, if you're querying agents, if you're trying to get your book published, or trying to get like a song deal, or trying to launch a YouTube channel or things like that, there's an idea here that like there's some kind of culmination, either that you've been sitting on a dream for so long and you act and it does something, or you finally have a breakthrough, things like that. Or friendships and community support become important, and you may feel called to collaborate or join a group that aligns with your long-term goals. This full moon could also bring a realization about the way you communicate or express your ideas, prompting a shift in your approach to relationship and communication with others. In summary, Pisces, this full moon in Taurus, along with Saturn's direct motion, and especially when we consider the Uranus conjunction with the full moon, is a powerful catalyst for immediate transformation in your life. It illuminates deep insights into communication, relationships, friendships, community, self-expression, while encouraging you to step into a more grounded and authentic version of yourself. This is a potent moment for release, renewal, and redirection. And it's also possibly a time you may even receive communications from ex-friends or ex-people who were in your lives, because the third house, again, is the house that rules communication. And it could be, full moons are typically associated with ending, so you could be getting some kind of a communication that gives you some kind of a closure, an ending, or that helps you turn over a new leaf with someone. Which, oh my God, speaking as a Pisces rising, I will say just for me right now, very true. I've had about 3 people that I didn't expect to hear from the past suddenly reach out to me in the last, 3 days. So very, very, again, astrology at work here. Last thing I'll say, and I know I keep on jumping back and forth because I kind of gave my concluding sentence, but it could also be a great time if you're trying to build some kind of a digital community or society around yourself or around a brand, or just in general. This is a great time to build an audience in that sense, with this 11th to 3rd house connection. Overall, the ruler of this moon, which is in the 3rd house, the ruler being in the 11th house, Venus being in Capricorn, is emphasizing structure and persistent, could be the key to support all your goals and your endeavors and the culminations and endings and beginnings that you want from your 3rd house things to do with communication, writing, siblings, short-term travel, planning, social media stuff, speaking, and to a certain extent, some people say also that the 3rd house rules small businesses, so your small businesses as well. Overall, a great time, and this full moon in Taurus, with its intricate web of aspects, really offers potent energy for grounding your goals, connecting meaningfully, and stepping fully into your personal authority. It's likely a period of culmination in many areas, with the energy supporting your long-term vision for both your personal and professional life. So use this time to anchor in all of those goals and dreams, and also to call in your soul tribe. And with Saturn here as well, there's a karmic shift with Saturn and a powerful renewal in your outlook, which gives you the clarity and courage to pursue what truly aligns. Don't forget to listen to your specific Saturn direct reading, because I think this will give you more info on that. And that sums up the reading for all the signs. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. This full moon is coming in the middle of November. It's been a potent month with so much astrological activity so far, and it will continue. But a lot of that will be within the time frame of around this full moon. By the time this video is going to be released, we'll be, depending on when I release it, low-key, but we'll be either 2 days or 1 day away from the full moon. And the activities of the full moon tend to really start, the build-up is 3 days before, 3 days after. Also, if you're feeling incredibly heightened emotions around this time, it's totally normal, especially if you have a lot of water in your chart, or if you're very kind of energetically, psychically open, then full moons can affect you more. And of course, how it'll affect each person strongly depends on what it is activating and aspecting in your chart, including its ruler. And if you would like to do a personal reading, I do those, so you're welcome to reach out to me, or to schedule on my website. And last but certainly not least, because this YouTube channel is new, I'm doing a special for the launch. So when I hit 30 subscribers, I'm going to pick 2 winners to win one 60-minute astrology reading and session each. And that would be like one-on-one live, so not like pre-recorded or anything like that. And all you have to do to enter to win is subscribe to this channel and comment. So you have to do both, 1 subscription and 1 comment. And any additional comment you make after you've subscribed will count as an additional entry, which increases your chances of winning. If you have at all enjoyed this, then send this to any of your friends or family members who you think might benefit from this. And I absolutely appreciate any and all likes, subscriptions, comments, shares, views. I cannot tell you how much it means to me supporting my little new channel. And I hope you've enjoyed this video today, and stay tuned for the next one, because astrology is a jam-packed November is an astrologically jam-packed month. So, sometimes my thoughts go faster than my voice can speak, and then I end up flipping around the sentences a lot. Okay, anyway, I hope you followed so far. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. I will totally, completely, absolutely answer them. I'll even go into some detail, so drop your questions below, and see you in the next video.